Welcome back to the Board Game Closet. My name's Jimmy, and today we're going to take a look at 12 Realms. This is put up by Mage Company, plays 1 to 6 people in roughly 90 minutes. In 12 Realms, you will be cooperatively playing with your friends to stop the Lords of Darkness from pillaging and taking over the 12 Realms. So work together, use your individual powers, and stop the Lords of Darkness. Let's take a look and see what you get in the box. All right, so maybe a little bit closer here so you can see. The first thing that I want to talk about are the components. So you will not be disappointed in the components that you get with this game because you just get a ton. I mean, you get all of these, as they say on the box, high-res miniatures, and you get a ton of these. I mean, they're just a ton. I remember when I first opened this box, I was shocked at how many you get and how nice they are. And so you just get a ton of these. You get all of these plastic coins, which are cool. These could have just been tokens, but they chose to do coins with that. You get some wooden pieces, you get some dice, and you get some cards. And so you get a bunch of these cards here, and the artwork on these, I don't know, I kind of go back and forth on it. I like it, and then sometimes I don't, but overall, it's pretty good stuff. It's not like blow your mind. This is not really in-depth artwork, but it does the job, and it definitely gives the feeling that this is like a fairy tale world. And so there you go. There's also these player boards that come with it, these 12 realms. I will know that although it's called 12 realms, you only get 4 of the 12 in the base game, but these boards right here that you get are actually pretty nice boards. These are really solid, really thick cardboard there, printed nicely. And then each person is going to get a little player card here that has 2 sides to it, and so that's pretty nice. And it tells you your special abilities, what you're able to do on both sides of the card. So component-wise, I think you're going to like what you get. There's also just tons of extra pieces. I put this in a little Plano box, but just tons of extra little pieces that you get in there. And so there's a lot to the game. Okay, so let me give you a basic idea of how to play 12 Realms. I'm not going to go over every single rule, and I hope to give you a good idea maybe about how the game plays, and you can decide if this is going to fit for you and your group. So at the beginning, you need to understand that this is a co-op game. So you're going to be working together. So you and your friends are each going to take a realm. So you get to pick a realm, and this goes on the board. And then you also have a character that goes with it. And so you'll get a character and a miniature that corresponds to that guy. So here's our little sword dude, and you got this guy. And so each character has a certain amount of abilities that you're going to be exploiting in the game. This game is a little different than a lot of combat games where you don't technically have to roll any dice to defeat an enemy. You just have to have the number of abilities left to defeat an enemy. So on each one of your characters, it tells you how far they can move, how strong they are, or their combat, if they have any magic, if they have any charm, if they have any gold, or I forget what the other terms are, wisdom or something like that. But anyways, basically each person has a certain number of abilities that they can use, and then on your turn you're going to exploit those or use them to your advantage. So one of them is swift, and that's basically your movement points. So you can move, go somewhere else, and then interact with that area. And then if you have combat, there's going to be enemies that come back out onto the field. And so if you have the necessary things to defeat that man or that enemy, then they're just gone. You just remove them from the game. So it's not going to be like a roll dice to see if you defeat them. It's going to be more like a puzzle. What do I have, and can I get over there to fight him? And if I do, and I have the right things, then I defeat them. So don't think of it as a combat game. Think of it more as a puzzle game, maybe kind of like Pandemic or Forbidden Island, things like that, where you're just using your ability. Excuse me. You're just using your abilities to move around the board and to accomplish things. So at the beginning of a round, you're going to, the first round, they're going to tell you what things to put out onto the board. So you're going to put enemies out onto the board, and then you're going to start. And so each player is going to take their turn exploiting all of their abilities. And then at the end of that round, then you refresh your abilities so that the next round you get to use them again. And then at the start of the next round, you're going to draw from the realm deck. And basically, this is like the enemies are coming at you. So every single round, you know that you're going to be drawing more cards out of this deck, and more enemies are going to be coming out onto the field. At each one of the realms, they have a tracker on the bottom. And so when anytime that any of the realms, so it doesn't matter which realm it is, if any of the realms get into this 16, once somebody crosses over into the 16, the Dark Lord is going to appear onto the board. And so that triggers like the end of the game. And so basically the whole game, you're trying to hold back the Dark Lord from appearing onto the field. And you do that in a balancing act where you're trying to say, okay, well, we got plenty of extra room over here, and they don't, because this tracker moves up based off of the number of enemies that are on the board at the start of a round. So you're trying to balance out, and you say, okay, we're going to have to come to this realm over here and get rid of these guys, because if we don't, at the end of that turn, we're going to jump into 16, the Dark Lord's going to appear, and we could lose the game. So it's a balancing act, trying to figure out where you want to go, which realm you need to be in. One of your abilities is also to be able to go from one realm to another. So if you're in a town, you can actually jump to another realm and come over here and fight this guy. So you're not stuck to the realm that you started in at the beginning of the game. In fact, you could switch completely and go to different realms and do different things if you wanted to. And so that's how it works. A couple other things that you can do if you're in a city, you can look through the deck and look for special abilities. And so you could pull special abilities out of the deck, and if you have the money to buy them, the gold to buy them, then you could have special abilities. These could be one-time use items, or it could be stuff that could stick with you throughout the entire game. And I know that there's a lot more. There's special rules and all kinds of things that have to do with how the game ends and the Dark Lord and all that kind of stuff. But that basically gives you an idea. You've got your character, you're using their abilities, and you're trying to figure out this puzzle of this game on how to keep it in control so that when the Dark Lord does appear, everybody can go, or you can go, and you can try to attack them and win the game. And so that's how it works. You can't play this game solo. There's a solo version of it, or like I said, you can play up to 6 people cooperatively. So that's basically it. So what are my thoughts on 12 Realms? First thing you need to know, and it says it on the box, this is a light game. So don't expect Descent, don't expect Imperial Assault. This is not something that's heavier. It's just really simple. I've got this many movement points. I can attack, I can move here, 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 and I do that. So don't expect something that's really in-depth. But the thing that I actually saw, one, because of the theme, and two, because of how easy it is, I think that my son, who's young, would actually get into this game. And I think that he could understand it and start to plot and think about what he wants to do. And so this is even a great gateway game, I guess, to get him into some deeper stuff. But on the surface, this is a fun game to play with just my family. My wife would probably get into this game because of the theme, because of the way that it works, as compared to if I brought out Descent and some of that stuff, she just wouldn't get into it. She wouldn't like it at all. I love the components that come with this game. You can't beat it. The instructions are easy enough to follow. It's not a complicated game. Keep it under 16, work together, use your abilities, buy stuff in the town, and try to win the game. So I like the game. Is it like my favorite game in the world? No, but I do see a place for this on my shelf. So I'm excited. They have a number of expansions out right now. I think that they are doing a Kickstarter right now, or just finishing up a Kickstarter with I think it's 12 Realms, bedtime stories, and there's extra stuff that they add onto it. And the designer of the game was telling me that that they purposely wanted in some of these expansions to make the game a little bit deeper and to add a little bit more to it. So in the expansions, you're going to get more of the realms. So you get this one, and then you're able to add more of the realms into the game so that you're going to be able to go up to those 12 realms. Okay, at the end of our reviews, we like to give a 1-die rating. Buy it, play it, or hate it. Green means go buy this game and add it to your collection. White means maybe you wouldn't buy it, but you definitely play it. And then red means you wouldn't buy it and you wouldn't play it because you hate it. 12 Realms for me, with the base game, I give this game a white die. So I don't hate it, I'm not sure if I would necessarily buy it, but I can see why people would want to buy it and why that they would add this to their collection. So for me, this is a white. I would play this game, and I'm really leaning closer to the green because I think that this would be a great game, like I said, for my family. I get my son and my wife to sit around the table. We could play this game, and I think that they would enjoy it. So I'm somewhere, we're not allowed to do that, but I'm somewhere maybe in between a white and a green. But for now, I'll give this game a white, and I'm very excited to try the expansions for this game. So thanks for checking out our video review of 12 Realms. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. It helps us out so much when we get subscribers. Like the video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. Check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those. Thanks for watching. Support your local hobby shop.